I definitely wanted to check this video out because we had just finished a video on Dark Souls Speedrunners Raging, which was a very great vid, if I don't say so myself. I really enjoyed myself with it and would watch it again, 10 out of 10. But this is the Getting Over It developer reacts to the speed run back when the world record was still like 1:30. And I've seen
Fuck that game.
Skidden doesn't really appreciate that game very much. Okay.
Fuck that game.
Thank you very much. I've already seen this reaction a couple different times, but somebody had asked me more than a couple times to put it up and say, it's stuff like this that makes me wonder why they don't hire speedrunners to beta test video games, right? And that isn't normally how people get into speedrunning games. If you love a game and you play it over and over again, then you normally become interested in speedrunning. And there are speedrunners that speedrun a bunch of games, but they do, a lot of the time, I would say a majority of the time, your best speedrunners really do enjoy video games. They have casual playthroughs of video games that they play. They really enjoy games and game systems. Work with speedrunners or make it easier or accessible to speedrun. That's not the experience that you're going to be shooting for generally when you're making a video game. You know what I mean? Speedrunners, learn the system to an extent. They're like that 2% that have already platinumed the game, gone for all of the achievements, and now are making their own achievements. You know what I mean? But you still think the majority of people, that is not how they're playing the game. And your game can be speedrun and still function as intended. So if they're not breaking any of the rules of the game that is stopping your daily user from playing it, then there's no reason really for them to step in my opinion, as far as speedrunning is concerned. You wouldn't need to hire the speedrunner for anything. You know what I mean? But anyways, listen to his point of view on it while we watch the speedrun. It's only a minute.
While this guy's getting warmed up, I just wanted to say, watching these world record runs always gets me thinking about the relationship between game
Gets warmed up. It's about to
designers and speedrunners. It's like quite an unusual relationship in a certain way. And speedrunners aren't like the normal streamers and YouTubers who play games when they come out. If you watch those people playing a game, they're struggling to learn the systems and to master them, just like you would if you were playing it yourself. And if you're the game designer watching a normal stream, you're thinking to yourself, that's working pretty much exactly as I planned. Watching speedruns isn't like that. And I think in a way, the role of the speedrunner is like the exact opposite of the role of the game designer.
Or you just coasted through that shit.
A game designer painstakingly carves a beautiful sculpture out of wood, first chiseling it out of a raw block and then gradually rounding off any rough edges, making sure it works when it's viewed from any angle. The speedrunner takes that sculpture and they look it over carefully from top to bottom, from every angle, and deeply understand it, and they appreciate all the work that went into the design, all of the strengths, all of the weak points. And then, having understood it perfectly, they break it over their knee. Well, that's why I love speedrunners.
Okay. Yeah, I like that. But I think that's a pretty good, it's actually an excellent viewpoint. Not universal. I have seen and heard of developers not liking speedruns. They had a couple developers on Games Done Quick, infuriated at the things that were possible to do in their game. But still excited that the community was discovering those things and cared enough to discover them, but didn't necessarily like that they were doing it. And I think that's one of the most important things, that I like about the community. Like, it's just as different as the people who play them. I know a lot of people who play games who don't like speedruns either. They don't like that concept of playing a game to beat it as quickly as possible as an objective. You know what I mean? They just don't like that viewpoint. But I think at the end of the day, when people love your content and love interacting with that content, that is the side that you need to be on. You know what I mean? Like, you have to be on the part that is worried about the community building and worried about the part that's really obsessing over something just as long as you obsessed over it when you made it, or maybe even longer than it took you to make it, in all actuality. Maybe even putting in more effort in different regards of playing it than you put in actually when you played it, I don't know if anybody could ever love anything more than its creator, but you can definitely spend more time with it than the creator ever had to, because now it's yours and you have it. The relationship is always going to be different, but I think it's a natural progression of games to find out every way that they work, and being interested in game mechanics is like a unique thing for our generation that we have time to explore. And so I really love it. I get obsessive with certain types of video games all the time, and it's like all I can think of and all I want to do, and I have to try to find ways to carve out different sections of my real life while doing those things. And I think that's like the most fun. Same thing with like editing videos. We have some editing projects that I just get so obsessive over. It's the same thing. But nobody complains about one, and you get a lot of complaints about the other. So, it's like a form of entertainment. I can understand why you wouldn't find it entertaining. Or maybe never thought of it as a form of entertainment, watching people do speed runs or practicing speed runs. But it's definitely a unique experience at best. But yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.